Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today we are setting up the foundation for my Reason Why page and doing a little bit of a family / bucket list page, if you will. I am using these circle dies from Pink Fresh Studio, the circle pocket from the hobby kit from Ali Edwards, and then I've created this kind of Photoshop image of everybody in my family, and I'm going to pop over to do a screen recording of how I put that together. So I initially started just by creating a kind of outline template of the actual page. So I did 7 inches by 8¼ inches. And then I'm just going to fuss around here with that same rectangular tool and create a bunch of rectangles. So when I originally was planning this page out, I did not have any sizes specifically decided. So that is what I'm doing here, just kind of messing around and seeing what size boxes are going to fit best in this space that I have. And ultimately, I decided on 2 inches wide by 3.5 inches long. And I will just kind of center those on my page a little bit offset so I can kind of get an idea of where my holes will go. And then I'm going to add another rectangle inside the first rectangle box. So my idea was that I would do a clipping mask of the photos of my family and kind of have a Polaroid-esque look. So all I'm doing is dragging the photo from my File Explorer over to Photoshop and just dropping it into Photoshop. And then I am applying a clipping mask over the smaller box. And then that will kind of just shape my photo into that small box and then allow me to have that Polaroid look that I am going for. I'm also going to pull out the text tool and I'm going to add our ages for each person in the family and then one item that everybody wants to do for the month of December. So I pulled everybody aside about like a week or two ago and I asked everybody what they wanted to do for December. Like, what's an item that you would like to do for the month of December? And these items that I'm listing here are going to be those particular items. I figured doing it this way instead of just creating a giant bucket list page would be more, I guess, what everybody wants to do instead of just me thinking up a whole gigantic list of things that I think everybody wants to do. So we can make more of an effort to at least go do one thing that each person wants to do for the month of December and then get that done. Now, everybody actually picked something that would have already been on a bucket list that I would have created, except for my daughter. Her bucket list item was to go get Christmas sharp nails with mommy. And she calls just getting your nails done sharp nails. I don't know why. I don't know where she got that from, but it's hilarious and I just absolutely loved it. So I was very excited to add that in to hers because it's very much the way that she speaks and thinks of things right now. So it'll be great to have that in my album for the future. I am also pulling in 2 patterned papers from Tracy Reed Designs. This is from the All Is Calm collection. I'm using this kind of green, like grid pattern, and then I'm going to use the textured solid green paper as well. For this grid pattern, since it is an actual pattern and there's a grid on it, I did reduce the opacity, I believe, to about 50%. Yes, I reduced the opacity to about 50% just to kind of tone that down a little bit. I didn't want the grid lines to interfere with the ability to read the text that I put on here. For this green pattern that I'm adding, I am just going to leave that as is. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did with my photos here, just on the larger box. and I'm applying a clipping mask to that so that it will be under the photo and under the text. And then I do have a just full like rectangle photo of our family as well. So for that particular photo, I am going to just apply a stroke. So I will do an internal stroke. The external stroke isn't actually going to show anything in the photo, and I wanted that green line to be just like a very thick border around our family photo, just to kind of keep the cohesiveness there with the other two green items or green backgrounds. So I'm going to do a very, very thick internal stroke of that green color, and I will just use the color drop tool to pick that same color from the patterned paper. And then I'll shrink that a little bit since the stroke will kind of cover up some of the photo, so I didn't want that to be too hidden. And then I'm just going to print it out. I'm going to print this on my Epson photo printer and just at high quality on my premium presentation matte paper. So we are now back at my desk, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this journaling card from one of the Paisley Press kits. I'm not sure if this was from this year or the one that I got that was from a couple of years ago, but I'm using this journaling card, and I'm just going to cut that out using one of those circle dies from Pink Fresh Studio. And this little Merry and Bright circle is going to sit inside that Hobby stitched circle pocket from the Ali Edwards kit. And I will just be using red line tape here to get that adhered down to the back of my cover photo. So I don't actually add any writing for my reason why in this video, and to be completely honest with you, I still have not yet done that. I don't know why. I haven't been able to find the words to explain what I'm thinking, I guess. I don't know. But I'm just going to get that adhered down. Off camera, I also add a little bit of stamping that says my reason why, and then I use a chipboard tree from last year as well. And I did that off camera just because I wanted to be very delicate with the stamping, since I've got all of these kind of beads in the background. So I wanted to be able to take my time and kind of move my page around so that I could actually stamp and have a good impression. So I did that part off camera, and then I'm pulling out a piece of vellum paper. This is from last year's specialty paper kit. This is going to be the base of my family photos / my bucket list page here that I'm doing now. I'm just getting everything trimmed out from that paper that I printed from Photoshop. And then I'm going to use red line tape to adhere these to my page as well, similarly to how I just did the other page. Since I did a majority of this in Photoshop, this one will come together fairly quickly as well. I will say though, I had about total an hour of footage, so it took me about 30-ish minutes to actually get everything adhered down and put together. And then it also took me about 30 minutes to do the actual Photoshop file that I was working on. So it took me about an hour total to get this whole page set up, or these two pages set up. So I am doing, like I said, red line tape to adhere these down, but I will also be using my tape roller just to put on either side of that red line tape, because I don't want to accidentally pull the papers up with my fingers. I tend to be kind of clumsy when I'm flipping through my albums, so I want the edges of this to kind of stay down as well. So I know it'll be super secure with that red line tape, but then also I've got a little bit of extra adhesive on the sides there so that I'm not going to accidentally like lift up one of the sides and bend it if I'm flipping through my album. And then I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm not doing any type of measuring or anything like that. To get everything adhered down, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to do my son's photos first and then lay Luna's in the middle. That way I can kind of at least evenly place her photo in between the two boys, and then I will use those 3 photos on the bottom to lay out the 3 photos that will go on the top. This family photo here, I did add my tape a little bit differently than the other photos. This is actually going to turn into the tiniest journaling pocket, just because when I actually did my like Photoshop file of this, I didn't include on there like what the item that we were doing actually was. It just kind of says our age and then something to do, I guess. So I wanted to make it a little bit more clear that this is going to be like our bucket list or wish list item for December. So I'm pulling out this little card. It's a paisley press card that says the details, and I'm going to trim that down so it's very, very narrow so that I can just pop this particular card in behind our family photo, and I'm going to have the details portion of it sticking out of the top. And then off camera, I just wrote down that I put photos of our family, ages, and then a bucket list item that we wanted to do for 2023 December. And that's going to be the end of that. I did pull out those tabs again because I thought maybe I might use one of those tabs, but ultimately I did not end up using that tab. And what I did was actually fussy cut around the wording, the hand lettering that is on this paisley press card. I'll just fussy cut around that so it'll make like a really cool little shape, and then that will be kind of my indication that that pulls out, because it does kind of look like a fun little tab portion. When I first cut it, I was going to leave it so that you could read the details from both sides, but I did not like the way that that looked, so I decided to just kind of trim it down so that it was fussy cut all the way around the word the. And then I think off camera when I went and did my journaling, it was bothering me that the back portion did have some of the lettering cut off, so I just cut another piece of that Merry and Bright card and just taped it over the back portion that says the details. And that is it. This is my reason why page and my family / bucket list page for December 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.